Okay, so we have an idea what Maven is, but it's very abstract. So what I'd like to do now is essentially take this opportunity to build an example Maven project. I'm going to build the classic Hello World project, and I'm going to use this IDE that I like called Visual Studio Code. This is developed by Microsoft. It's open source and it's very lightweight. It's very easy to use. And I find it personally now, I prefer it to the other more heavyweight editors like Eclipse and IntelliJ, which I find I can do all the things I need to do in this, but without having all the slow processing and the long delays that I get from those other tools. So if we're going to create a project in Visual Studio, what we need to do is we need to open a workspace. So I'm going to open a folder. Now it turns out that I don't have a folder created, so I'm going to use my development folder, which has got some other examples here of other projects. I'm going to create a folder in here called COMP41720. Oh, I have got that from last year, so let's create it from COMP41720 2020. I'm going to that folder and I'm going to say a new folder called Hello Maven. So I'm going to click on that folder and I'm going to select that folder, and that creates opens up my Visual Studio on that folder. You'll see there's nothing in the folder. The first thing I'm going to do is create the source folder, and the second thing I'm going to do is create my pom.xml. I'll have to put more things in the source folder in a minute, but I'll start with the pom.xml. So this is a project file, and we've got model version 4.0.0. You've got a group ID, so we'll call this comp306L. And we have the artifact ID, we'll call this Hello Maven. So I'm using the same name as I used for the root folder. And I think then we had packaging. What's that? It's the jar. So our deliverable, our release, will be a jar file. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to now set some properties. So I'm going to use. Well, we don't need. So maybe let's imagine that I need my code to be 1.8 compliant. I know we're at 1.13. I think is the version of Java I have on my computer. And we can put properties in like maven.compiler.source. Target and target. There's the properties, and then because I'm doing a basic Java program, I don't need to do anything else. That is my POM file. Okay, as far as I'm aware. So now we create our source code. So we go into the source folder, we create a main folder. In the main folder, we create a Java folder. And then in that folder, we're going to create our main program, so called hello.java. And in here we have our Java class. So we can go public class hello, public static void main string args. So we can use sysout, the shortcuts that they include. I'm normally using. Oh, okay, it's not working. System.out.println Hello Maven exclamation mark. Okay, that's my Hello Maven program. My OCD. I'll just do that. That program is in my source main Java. I have a problem with the POM file. which shouldn't be a problem. Yes, it's even telling me that there's a problem, which is I forgot the version 0.0.1. So I've got to add in the version of the project, which is there. So I'm having 0.0.1. It's giving me some stuff. Can I synchronize the Java class path configuration? So if I click now or always, what will happen is anytime I add a dependency to so just like with IntelliJ, Visual Studio is compiling the code behind the scenes to check for errors. So if I click always, it will always make sure that the class path that I use when the IDE is compiling behind the scenes matches or includes all of the projects, all of the libraries listed in the dependencies of the project. So I can say always, and that'll be fine. You can see it's already compiled the code now. You can see here's my hello class code in the target folder. I told you that would be created. There's nothing in the test classes folder. So I want to test this program, I want to run it. So what you do is you can use a terminal here, or you can just have a standard command line. You can typically install Maven. I've explained how to do it in the notes, but to run Maven you type mvn, and then you type something like compile, and it's compiled. Now if I want to run the code, one of the things you need to understand about build systems is that when you run code, when you use a build system, it is designed to automate the build process. It's not designed to automate the running process. Okay, so as a result, when you try to do things, all of the steps involved, none of those steps involve running Java programs. So we can use Maven package, which will create our jar file. And if I go and have a look here, you'll see here is the hello Maven 0.1 here. So this is made up from the artifact ID hello Maven with the version ID added on the end, and that's in the targets folder. So I can then do down here and say Java -cp target / hello Maven 1.0.1, and the name of my file was hello, and I get my hello Maven so I can run it. Now it turns out there is a plugin called the Mojo plugin. Okay, and the Mojo plugin is something that's provided by it's a plugin that you can incorporate into your code, and I'm going to show you how to do it in a second now. And the Mojo plugin allows you to compile code. So to add the Mojo plugin, I'm cutting and pasting this from a different location. Here we go. So it's the Codehouse Mojo plugin, I should say. We simply add the following. So we put in our build folder, and then here we have a plugins plugins tag, and within that we specify plugins. And this plugin here is called the Codehouse Mojo plugin, and it includes essentially a custom plugin that includes the ability to run code. So the name of our file is what we put here, where it says the main class, is we put the name of the file we want to run. So if we look down here, I had the main class called hello, like that. We include this, we save it, and when I add this in, I can add a Maven exec :Java, and it prints out hello Maven. You can see here. Now, just to be clear, what's happening here is I'm using exec:. The exec: comes from the name of the artifact, and there are a number of conventions here. But typically, if you create an artifact, this is a custom artifact created by Codehouse that includes the name something-maven-plugin. Then the something can be used as a prefix in order to invoke targets. And if you read about if you go and look for the Codehouse Mojo. So I'm going to here just switch to this view, which contains this. I'm going to go Codehouse Mojo. You find there is something about it here, and you can see that it's got two goals, two targets. You can do exec:exec, exec:"Java. The exec:"exec runs the Java programs in a separate process. Exec:"Java runs the programs in the same virtual machine as the one that is running Maven. Okay, so you can use either format of this. We typically use the exec:"Java format. Okay, now so that starts with my introduction 101. So what we've been able to do here is I've shown you how to create a plugin. I've shown you how to essentially create a hello program, a first Java program, a hello main, and I've shown you how to link that into a project. I've shown you how to compile it and run it at the command line, and I've shown you how to use the Codehouse Mojo plugin to run it through to allow you to run your Java program through Maven. Okay, so I'll put this code up onto Moodle, and you can download it and use it. I'm going to set you a task of writing another second program that will then also require that you do the same sort of things with a different name, and that will be a way for you to try to build your own competency in using Maven. So I'll add a couple of short questions for you to do on the website.